Hey guys, Mighty Marie here. Just doing a quick little introduction to what is going to be a series of videos on the issues of parental rights. I thought I could do it all in one shot, but it turns out there's just way too much to go over. So the first video will be an introduction to my views on the role of fathers in society. The second video will cover reproductive rights. There will be a third video on the issues of custody rights, and a fourth video diving into how did we get here and where do we go now. Hey guys, it is Mighty Marie, and I am here with you tonight with my gigantic mug of tea to record the first in one of my longer videos in a series exploring the conflicts and areas of commonality between the men's rights movement and feminism on various topics. Tonight's video, or audio really, is going to be about the issues of parental rights. Now, as I've made clear in previous videos, I am a feminist, and I have identified as a feminist since I was very young. As such, I have discovered, much to my dismay, that I need to make very clear up front that I believe fathers are vital to the well-being of children. Here in the United States, we have an incredible problem of fatherless homes, and that problem has, it would appear, had incredibly negative ramifications on children. Just to throw out a couple of stats that probably most of you already know by heart. According to the U.S. Department of Education, roughly 39% of students live in fatherless homes. Now, according to multiple sources, but the primary one I lifted these from was actually from NPR, of children born in fatherless homes, they are 4 times more likely to be poor. They are 2 times more likely to drop out of high school. Girls born and raised in fatherless homes are 2 times more likely to be obese. They are 4 times more likely to get pregnant as teenagers and to raise children themselves outside of wedlock in fatherless homes. There is also some data to suggest that girls raised in fatherless homes are far more likely to be the victims of sexual violence. On the subject of boys, they are much more likely to wind up incarcerated. They're much more likely to drop out of high school. Some statistics that I found said that focusing specifically on the African American family in the United States, nearly 78% of African American children, according to the 2010 census, were raised in were born outside of wedlock, and of those, 58% were being raised in homes without fathers present. Those children raised in fatherless homes were 20 times more likely to go to prison. And when the study was adjusted to account for other factors such as income levels, community, things like that, they were still 2 times more likely to wind up in prison as their peers. So while the correlation between fatherless homes and bad outcomes is undeniable, I recognize correlation isn't causation. But when the correlations are of this magnitude and cover so many areas of negative impact to our children, we have to recognize that there is something going on there and we need to take action about it. So that's just kind of where I'm coming from on the topic of fatherless homes and the importance of fathers in children's lives. There are a lot of reasons I think that we need dads. The first, speaking as a mother, parenting it's just incredibly hard. It is incredibly important and incredibly fulfilling, but it drains you. The demands that it makes on you financially and emotionally are just unfathomable until you go through it. And then there's the simple demands that it makes on your time. We all only get 24 hours in a day. And when you have to work, sleep, do all the household chores, and also try to provide quality, meaningful, enriching time to your children, that leaves absolutely nothing left. Can a single parent do it? Can they survive it? Yes. But two-parent households are simply better for the parents and for the kids. You need a partner to help you make sure that the bills get paid, make sure that the meals get cooked and the lunches for school the next day get packed. You need a partner to make sure that Junior practiced his reading for the night. Just you need help, and your kids need you to have help. Another reason that I think that fathers are so important to families is that children learn their earliest and most profound lessons about men from the men closest to them, from the men that they interact with on a regular, routine basis. Boys learn to model manhood. They learn how to interact with other men and how to interact with women from the men in their lives. When they have a father in the home or who is routinely, regularly, consistently in their life, they learn from that father how to interact with men, how to be a man, how to treat women. If they don't have that role model in their life, what do they have left? Sometimes if they're very lucky, they have really great uncles or grandfathers or older male cousins who absolutely knock it out of the park and serve as really great role models. But a lot of times, all that they really have are really one dimensional, shallow examples of manhood, usually from media representations that are unrealistic. Unrealistic at best and dangerous for them at worst. On the flip side, girls also learn how to interact with men and how to be valued by men, how they should be treated by men, and how to have relationships with men from their fathers. That is their first relationship with a man. They learn how to have an emotional connection, that they can be valued for their sense of humor or for the things that they can do, as opposed to simply being valued as an object of sexual desire. When girls don't have that example in their life, when they don't have that relationship, when they don't have that bond, if they're like the majority of girls in the United States, they do crave that relationship with men. And as they get older, they learn to create that relationship from the only models that they have, which are magazines and movies that teach them that to be valued by men, they must be objects of sexual desire. Because again, magazines, movies, they give us very shallow, one-dimensional representations. And so it's no surprise that girls who come from single-parent households who don't have fathers in their lives are more likely to be sexually promiscuous at a young age and to have children at a young age out of wedlock. So yeah, children need healthy, loving, close relationships with members of both sexes in order to easily develop healthy adult relationships of all kinds. And the third point I want to make is just that fathers are good. There are bad, horrible, abusive, toxic parents of both genders. But those bad eggs sort of aside, fathers are good. They empower their children, they support their children, they protect their children, and they love them and help them to grow into their best selves. Now, everything that I just said about fathers, that little litany, it could be said of mothers as well, but the fact is that's who fathers are. And that's good for a child to have in their lives. And if you have more than one person who does those things for you, That's not bad. That's good.